Hey guys, here we are doing another video, another week. One of my last two statues I still have in the box, Darkseid. I bought this one when I got my Mojo statue that I did last week. So I decided with the coming out of the new Supergirl movie, which I've not heard it's good. I heard it's the opposite of good. I heard Lobo's barely in it. I heard she barely wears the suit. Which, we're going to talk about that S real quick. That S is from Kingdom Come, which is a great graphic novel with a great Superman who's completely immune to kryptonite. Plus, it's a red S with a black background. It's different than what they've shown. But yeah. Iron Studios, they just did the Iron Studios, what do they call it? Iron Day or something. The showcase day of new statues, which they have some cool ones coming out. Nothing I'm jumping on right now to pre-order. They have a dragon from House of the Dragon. I believe it's Matt Smith's character, Daemon Targaryen. I believe that's his dragon, and I, it's okay. I mean, the statue looks good. I mean, don't get me wrong; they've done excellent work with their statue works. Just the dragon itself doesn't intrigue me. But I was in their live chat when they were doing their stream, commenting on good feedback from the company when I have questions about pre-orders and stuff and the quality of their work. And inquiring about other future things, and they said there are things in the works. They don't want to, of course, tell you. They want you to wait and be excited for their special videos that they do, their live streams. But yes, this is the Zack Snyder's Justice League Darkseid statue from Iron Studios. And it's the Iron Studios logo. Darkseid. What the statue will look like, what we're going to go off of when we put her together. So let's get her started. I might actually have to buy a new statue case. If I keep getting statues like I'm doing, which I was browsing Big Bad Toy Store because that Snake Eye statue that I did an unboxing for on Big Bad Toy Store exclusively from Iron Studios, they have the variant Snake Eyes with the red suit. It looked cool, but I have the black suit. That's Snake Eyes to me. I mean, yes, there are variants. There's a white suit as well, but they haven't done that one yet. And I wouldn't get it anyway. I like the OG. I was honestly hoping that they would have come out with another G.I. Joe statue in their live stream. Because besides Baroness and Cobra Commander, they haven't announced anyone else from the G.I. Joe line. I mean, Scarlet, Roadblock, Duke, none of them were announced. I would really like Serpentor and Zartan. To round out my villains. The one hero that I have is Snake Eyes versus all those villains, on my statue shelf, which they're currently sharing the shelf with the Logans. He's on the Snake Eyes side, of course. But yeah, let's start cutting this open. Yeah, been seeing a lot of reviews for Supergirl. I had no interest in going to see Supergirl, besides wanting to see Jason Momoa. Done up his logo being Jason Momoa because that guy's range as far as an actor goes is... I've seen him in other films where he's, as an actor, they're kind of one-noting him. Personally, I think anyone that casts Jason Momoa for a role, he wants to get these iconic characters locked down, and I get that. Aquaman, You know, I didn't hate his portrayal of Aquaman in the sense that, you know, Aquaman he's just not that deep of a character as far as the way they portrayed him in any of the movies. There we go. I have some extra taping on it. So this is pretty simple, not too much to it. As far as lots of parts to this statue, lots of packaging. We'll get back to discussing that. Okay. Ah, that's okay. Yeah, because it's Zack Snyder's. And this is portrayed at the end. There's the base has Steppenwolf's head when Superman killed him. I mean, he did the most damage to Steppenwolf. Okay, here's the bottom, Darkseid. So obviously this is the front. Oh, cool. Yeah, the base is pretty cool. All the kind of, there's the Omega symbol. I would have really liked them to continue the Zack Snyder's films. A lot of people hate on them. A lot of people, they call them Snyder Bros, who really get into Zack Snyder's movies. He's not bad. He's not by far the worst filmmaker out there. Yeah, this is just one piece. There's nothing to snap together here. So we'll chat about the Snyderverse and the new James Gunn's Guardians of the DC, whatever you want to call it. I guess, there we go. They should have really flipped his head around so the face was facing forward on this statue. But I guess they wanted to be movie accurate as far as, there's the Dark God himself, Apocalypse. I really like the Snyderverse design of Apocalypse suit, of Darkseid's suit and everything. Very decent looking, very dark, very medieval almost, as far as the way their suits were designed, like real medieval, like splint mail armor. Is it splint mail? Yeah, it should be splint mail. But yeah, the Joss Whedon Justice League was just too light for the other, compared to the other films. Because you got to remember, the order they came out was Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and then I believe Wonder Woman. And I can't remember if Aquaman came before or after Justice League. Oh yeah, Lincoln's here. What's up? Oh, kisses. Let's give kisses. He and Daddy were up early this morning. He had strawberries on his breakfast, huh? Yep. And he had some bacon. He always gets bacon treats with his breakfast. It's because his pappy spoils him. And then he and I, after I had my couple cups of coffee, he and I went over to our bank where he got to go in and get a couple milk bones from the ladies there. And then went over to Poochie Chef again. Every week. We make one day a week. We stop over at Poochie Chef. Even if it's just to say hi, we don't need anything. It was very busy there today because they were doing Patriotic Photo Day with Dog Crazy Photos, which is another company in my town that, you know, they do semi-professional and professional. They do professional. It's pretty professional. Their setups and everything are all real nice as far as getting everything set up for photo shoots that they do Saturdays. Sometimes Sundays they'll do them. Right now they're trying to scale back. It gets pretty hectic in there. When we got there, they were packed. Now they connect to a vet's office, but the vet's office on Saturdays isn't like pack. That's his vet too. It's kind of a thing that I did with him starting as a puppy. If he's good at the vet, we go to Coochie Chef. If he's bad at the vet, we just go home. And he learned that pretty quick. He's always been good. Because he's a bulldog. So sometimes his temperament can be a jerk. Like today, there was a nice old guy at Coochie Chef who wanted to give him some head scratches and he snapped at him. I don't know why. Sometimes he does that. He does that to a friend of mine. The guy's 6 feet tall, and I figure one of the reasons is height difference. He's not used to super tall people like that, 6 feet tall people. I'm 5'7", and he's not used to very tall people around here that often. But we have one other friend who's tall, and he loves him. He doesn't snap at him or growl at him. We've had guys working on the house this week, and he's nice to all of them. Well, we had the roofers here. He was out making friends with all the roofers who barely spoke a lick of English. But they put one hell of a roof on. It's nice. No leaks or anything, no problems. But yeah, so we went there, got his photo, and then he hung out for a little bit, got spoiled with some treats. He did work. When I say work, he'll drag me behind their counter, and they don't mind. It's because of him. But he gets, people come to pay. He gets up and greets them, puts his paws up on the counter, and he gets up there and sniffs at whatever they're getting. I say it's quality control. That's how he works for his treats. But I digress. Back to the Snyderverse, the new Gunverse, Superman. Yeah, I was saying earlier, I have no interest in seeing the new Supergirl. I watched the new Superman with, I don't remember the guy's name that plays Superman. That movie, the things that stood out to me most about the new Superman movie, the James Gunn Superman, were the accuracy of Mr. Terrific's suit, and Mr. Terrific himself. I thought that he was one of the best characters in the movie. Nicholas Hoult did a really decent job with Lex Luthor, and I was glad to see again, compared to the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor, who again, their villain points compared to Gene Hackman, R.I.P., wasn't real estate based, because Lex or Kevin Spacey, which was again, his evil plot was all real estate. And these newer ones, their plots are not real estate, which is cool. With the box office numbers I've seen though with Supergirl and the box office numbers from Superman, I don't think James Gunn's universe is going to go very long. Kind of like the Snyderverse. I mean, I understand what happened with the Snyderverse with Zack Snyder and his family issues, and how he had to step away. But thankfully, they did release the Snyder cut of Justice League. Far superior film to the Joss Whedon one. Joss Whedon, he made some good series, but when it came to superhero stuff, he was not good. No offense to Joss Whedon. I love Buffy, liked Angel, love Firefly, love Dollhouse. That was a fun show. But as far as Justice League went, that was total crap. And maybe it was a studio noting him, post-it notes everywhere on stuff that they want to change, maybe more family friendly. No. The way the Snyderverse was set up was very much a superhero franchise that I wanted to see. Very adult, very darker universe as far as a superhero universe go. I mean, what other dark superheroes we have? Darkman. I mean, that's a Sam Raimi superhero movie, which the first one is great. The other two are not that not that great. But yeah, the Snyderverse, I would like to see it go further. Aquaman, the first one, not bad film. Didn't hate it. I liked it. The second one was I didn't hate it. And you know what that means? That's a 2-star rating for me. If I was doing stars, it'd be 4. It'd be, love it, like it, don't hate it, hot garbage. Because that's 1 or 0, hot garbage. The Wonder Woman film, the first one, was great. I couldn't make it 20 minutes into the 84 one just because they broke their own canon. If you're gonna do it after the Batman v Superman movie, but before the Justice League movie. There's a little bit of time in between those two that you could have done a little story with Cheetah, who was the villain in 84. I didn't even get to her. I didn't like the movie so much, I didn't even get to see the villain in it. Oh, and who was the other one now? Pedro Pascal. Playing a stupid Latin mockery of what they wanted Trump to be. And it's like, this is just stupid. Stop projecting in your films. If you're going to make a superhero movie, go to the archives and actually read the shit like Edward Norton did for the Incredible Hulk that he did. When I heard that movie was coming out, and then I heard that he went and sat and read the comics, I was like, good for him. That shows that you give a shit about the product you're putting out, not pushing your friggin' political crap into it. I don't care. Yes, there should be some politics involved in the superhero universe, like with the Batman v Superman movie, when, Superman just goes and murders a bunch of terrorists. I mean, he didn't. It was Lex Luthor, but he was framed for it. Turn around and, he has to answer to Congress, and then, Lex Luthor blows up Congress, part of Congress. But you saw it, like, there was politics, but it was, this is what would happen. Superheroes would have to answer to someone if they just went out and did what they wanted all willy-nilly. Like, you never see when Batman captures someone, you never see him go to court afterwards. And, the reason all of Batman's villains are sent to Arkham Asylum, they're all deemed unable to stand before the court because they're all crazy. They can't give a good defense because they're... So they get locked up in an insane asylum. Bring back insane asylums. Come on. Let's turn Alcatraz into Arkham Asylum. Seriously, like, we need them. Some of the people in this country are just nuts. Not trying to get political, but there are nuts people. And they need to have a place to be. Not jail, because the ones that are mentally unstable need psychiatric help. Therapists don't do crap for you. It's all psychiatrists will actually do stuff for you. The Superman movie with James Gunn. James Gunn announced his new universe, and Peacemaker season 1 was good. I liked it. Season 2, I made it through like 1 or 2 episodes. Nah, I didn't even make it to the second episode. And I was just like, what the hell is this? Why did you turn a good show into a shit show? And guess what happened? It got canceled. Yeah, what a shock. You make something good, and they expect you to keep making something good, and then you turn around and again inject your own politics into it instead of just following the source material. It's not hard, people. Pick up a graphic novel. Pick up a comic book. Make a good goddamn movie based off it. Look at the sales for the comics first, because that's what happened with Supergirl. They chose Woman of Tomorrow, and worst selling comic of the Supergirl series. There's so much other Supergirl out there. You could have found something better. If you really wanted to make it good, you would have made it the Supergirl that was like a sleeper agent for this guy. Yes, there is some Supergirl out there where she didn't land on Earth. She ended up on Apokolips, and became Darkseid's daughter, who, you know, he basically tortured her for years and raised her to be his own, you know, wrecking ball on another world, um, as a way to, you know, take down Supes. The only one that's going to take down Kal-El is going to be Kal-El, except for she's never been as powerful as Clark, as Kal, because he spent more time absorbing yellow sun radiation than her. I mean, she's powerful, but she's not him powerful. Even in Kingdom Come, Kingdom Come Superman is a god. Literally, he can't be hurt by anything. And he's like the outside guard of the Supermax prison for supervillains and heroes that get out of line. That was the cool thing about that comic, is that graphic novel, was the fact that, you know, there were repercussions. If you stepped out of line, you got sent to Superman Supermax, where outside he's just farming away, and you know you're not escaping because that guy's out there just, you know, a god, just growing crops. Oh, Lincoln, you farted. They gave him yogurt today at Gucci Chef, which always, eventually we get some farts out of him. I'm just glad it wasn't when we were taking a nap earlier, because it's a rainy day here. He doesn't like rainy days because he can't be outside. It's going to be hot this week, so I'm thinking about busting out his kiddie pool and taking a video of him playing in his pool, which will end up being a short on this channel, because unless he does a long video, I don't know. It all depends on him. He may just go and sit in it, which if that's the case, it's just going to be a short. But if he's like, when he first had his pool when he was a puppy, he would go in it, splash around a good bit, and then run around, and then jump into it, and then run around some more. He was a nut with his first pool. And that winter, he ate it. He ate the pool. He wanted it, and it was just propped up. We have a shed this year, so it's going to go in the shed so he doesn't destroy his pool the same year he gets it. That'll be this week, because it's going to hit the 90s here this week. I don't mind heat too bad, but humidity. So fingers crossed it doesn't get super humid. Like, it was humid, good bit humid last week. It's a little humid today with the rain. Not that I'm outside. It's my day off work. I get one day off of work, which is why I make videos. Taking the Gucci Chef, you know. It's our day to do stuff. Next weekend, July 3rd, he has a nail appointment because I have to give him oral sedatives for that. And then the 4th of July, I'll be off. And I don't think I'm going to post a video on the 4th of July. I have one statue left to do. If I do a statue video this week, I might do it Friday. But I'm going to have a new video series starting on this channel. And it's going to start today. Because I have 18, somewhere around there. 18 poster tubes when I used to work in the movie theater and I'd get posters. There's more than one poster in this tube. I don't even know what's in them anymore. It's been so long. But I ordered, with the Prime days this past week, I ordered some poster cases. So we're gonna do a couple tubes today. I figure I can get 9 weeks out. 18 tubes, 2 tubes a week. Figure out what posters are in what tube, which ones we're gonna dedicate to some framing in the coming days, because I'll probably have those here pretty soon. I also have some disc plates, so I might bust them out for a video as well. Show you what disc plates I have. They're the only disc plates I have, because they're not cheap, but they are nice. They're heavy. I'm going to get them on. I'm going to get them hanging on the walls here too. Because we're almost done with these, and I need to start. I have other artwork, plus with Steel City Con coming up, who knows what I might get there. You never know what the vendors will have. Kind of saving up my money for that. Not pre-ordering any more statues. Not buying any more statues. I already still have a bunch of statues pre-ordered. The only statues that I saw that Iron Studios just put up for pre-order from their video that interested me, there was only one really. It was a T-Rex from Jurassic Park squishing down on the tour truck. That one was pretty nice looking, but I don't know. I like Jurassic Park, but you know, I like real villains. That's just an animal. I guess you could say Godzilla's just an animal too, but Godzilla's, you know, he's the king of the monsters. So, but yeah. Zack Snyder verse films. The Flash movie was absolutely crap. It was hot garbage. Not just because Ezra Miller is a crazy psychopath, but just not good. Their Supergirl wasn't good. The only reason I watched it is I wanted to see Michael Keaton as Batman again. That was the nostalgia bait of the film. Only reason I watched it. And you could tell a lot of it was not him, and that's a lot of it was stunt actors and special effects, you know, CGI and stuff. Another thing I heard about the new Supergirl movie, the CGI was garbage. I mean, how do you well, I mean, they're saying they're going to make money if they make $300 million on that film. I don't know if they're going to make $300 million, to be honest with you. They opened not to a good reception on their preview night. Their Friday night box office numbers. I'm about to watch Az from Heel vs. Babyface, a video that he did talking about the Friday numbers, and I heard they're not doing good. Even their Supergirl shills, you know, the people that go out and shill for horrible movies, you can tell they're not happy that they have to stay relevant with these companies. They're not happy that they have to try and talk it up. You can see it in their eyes, their gestures, their body language and facial expressions. They're just, no one is happy with this movie. Lobo's in it for like I said earlier, Lobo's in it for like 5 minutes. He was teased in the trailers like he was going to be a major player. I think that they fired James Gunn. At least keep Jason Momoa as Lobo, but maybe say, hey buddy, we're going to write a better story for you, where we can actually showcase some acting talent rather than you just playing you know, dressed up and dress up. Honestly, Jason Momoa's acting, the first thing that I ever saw him in was Stargate Atlantis, and he was good in that. He had the writing of the show showed some range in his acting ability, but then afterwards, he's just cast as big muscle-bound brute. I mean, it kind of sucks. It's kind of like, you know, Vin Diesel. They either want him to be Dom Toretto from the Fast and Furious films, or they want him to be Richard B. Riddick from the Riddick's films, where he's just a tough brute. You know, not many words, but at least, you know, you liked Riddick because he was creative with his kills. Like his teacup kill in Chronicles of Riddick. Threw you with my teacup. Then he picks up the little pin and they run away. Like, what are you going to do with that? That'll be creative. But that's why they're scared of him, because he's creative and killing. Dom Toretto actually, you know, there was some range there. They weren't good movies. They're car people movies. I mean, I didn't hate them. Again, they weren't hot garbage. Paul Walker has the most range of an actor in those films. And, you know, R.I.P. Paul Walker. He was another one taken too soon. Gene Hackman wasn't taken too soon. He was an older guy, but it was just sad that the way he went. Um, Paul Walker sad the way he went, and he was a young guy with a family in that. But yeah, the Superman, the Zack Snyder cut, the black suit Superman was excellent. You know, they wanted to soften it up for the Joss Whedon verse, the Whedon one. I'm just like, no, go with the hardcore, like, this guy was dead and they had to bring him back. And who wouldn't be pissed off, you know? You died to save the world. You know you went to heaven. Krypton heaven, whatever it would be, you know, if you believe in heaven. You went to a good afterlife, let's say that. And then you get ripped away from it. You're like, hey, we need you to go fight some more bad guys that we can't handle because you're the god and they're the monsters. And because that's what DC is, the universe of gods and monsters. Literally, the dark god himself, Darkseid. Who, if he gets you with those Omega beams, you're done. Especially if you're Batman. And he's the one, you know, that Superman kind of didn't hold back much against Steppenwolf in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. But I really wanted to see him go after Darkseid. I really wanted to see that, you know, because he's the one person that if you've watched the Justice League animated series, Justice League Unlimited, where he goes toe-to-toe with Darkseid Superman, he's the one person he's like, I don't have to hold back with you. Because Superman, no matter what he faces, usually holds back. Darkseid was the one being that he didn't have to hold back on. Because he's always... Supergirl in this new movie said, you know, Superman sees the good in everyone. I see the truth. No, Superman hopes that there is good in everyone and it can prevail over their sadistic evil natures. You know, if he's got to knock some sense into you, even with Zod in Man of Steel, he was really hoping that Zod would stop trying to kill the family to the point that the beams almost hit them and he had to snap his neck. He really wanted to give him the chance to, you know, stop himself. But when he wouldn't, he didn't have any problem killing him. Which something people are like, well, Batman doesn't kill people, Superman doesn't kill people. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they would. Early Batman killed people. Sometimes it was not on purpose, but sometimes it was. Yes, of course he didn't kill his major villains because you kill off all your villains, what's left? Normal people. Normal people are more likely not to do shit if you kill normal people. And they see it, they're like, oh shit, he would kill us. You kill the villains and they're just like, oh yeah, that was justified, but he's not going to kill me. I'm just robbing the 711. No, he'll kill you. Superman, if you're big and bad enough, he'll kill you. As right he should. That's one thing I want to see superheroes do. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't kill people. Some people have to die. If you want to stop bad people from doing bad things, sometimes they just have to die. But they had no problem killing Steppenwolf. Because he wouldn't have stopped. He would have kept going. He would have killed all of them and then completed his task. And if Darkseid had come through that portal with his army, you think he would hold back? No. Well, he's a villain, obviously. But I mean, you think that the Supes would hold back on killing everything that came through that portal? No. Everyone that came through that portal would have to die. Desaad, Darkseid, Big Barda, Granny Good. I mean, all the characters that they showed around Darkseid looked awesome. I really wanted to see more of that. You know, hey, maybe they'll fire James Gunn and look at Zack Snyder and be like, hey, you want to come back? Fingers crossed. I mean, I'm not a Snyder bro. Army of the Dead was not a good movie. You know, it was entertaining because I like zombie films, but the opening of that film was the best part of that. Well, no, I won't say that. The opening of that film was one of the best parts of that film. The other best part is seeing Siegfried and Roy's friggin' zombified tiger. That was fun. I liked that. And in fact, I'll even say I loved the zombified tiger. The rest of the aspect of that movie becoming a heist film, which they created a whole other movie based off the safecracker in it. And I was just like, well, I have no interest in this because I didn't like the heist part. I wanted to see the zombies organize an army and get out of that zone. But I mean, it's Vegas. Where are you going to go? The desert? That's easy to kill you in. You just drop bombs on it. No one's out there anyway. It's a friggin' desert. Plus you have, Area 51 out there, and there's military installations. There's tons of ways that they could destroy a zombie army. I don't care if that guy had a metal helmet on or not. They drop some bombs on you or some, surface-to-surface rockets and missiles and shit. You're dead. You're going to be blown to pieces. What are you going to be, a severed head? And they'll just come and put a bayonet in it. They don't even need to waste a bullet on you. What other films were Zack Snyder's? Didn't he do that Rebel Moon? Oh, that was horrible. Oh, I watched both of those. And then I watched both of the special editions, and I'll never get those hours of my life back. I mean, you just tried to throw too many sci-fi and fantasy realms into one thing. And rip off so much stuff from other stuff. Dawn of the Dead, though, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, one of my favorite zombie films. I mean, you're screwed in that one. I think we talked about that in the Zombie Captain America video. Yeah, I don't hate Zack Snyder. He has his own unique style, but when it came to his vision of Darkseid, Steppenwolf, the villains, the universe, he wanted a darker universe. As far as his Justice League went, I liked it. Like I said, Wonder Woman, the first one, was great. He wrote it. He didn't direct it, which I think isn't a bad thing sometimes. I mean, he can afford to not direct everything that he writes, but he should have a lot of say on what he's making. Like if he hires a director and he's sitting around, making changes to the script as they go, because he's like, oh, that didn't feel, gritty or dark enough. Let's do it let's change this dialogue a little bit. He can go to the director and do that, and make a better movie. So yeah, Darkseid. Looking mean, looking bestial, looking like I wish I had seen him fighting Superman. I really would have liked to see that. That would have been a whole good 20-minute segment of him just whooping up on Darkseid. And the special effects in it would be crazy because Superman would be going full hypersonic, not pulling his punches, blast him in the face with his heat vision, freezing him up with his cold breath, which we didn't see much of in the Snyderverse until, later, which is cool. I like I said, Man of Steel I like. The the score for it, the music was brilliant. Um, the fact that you saw him having to learn his powers. Now, there's one thing that I had an issue with was no Fortress of Solitude. You got a space ship. Okay. But then again, you look at the Krypton they came from. There weren't a bunch of crystal cities, which was kind of a thing for Superman. The crystals. They should. It's one thing I didn't enjoy is the fact that it was a more grounded Krypton rather than a more fantastical crystal evolved Krypton. But the opening sequence of Man of Steel is pretty cool. Plus Russell Crowe's dad. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, no. That's it. New Superman, not that great. Supergirl, hot garbage. I think James Gunn is going to be done. He just tries to make everything Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is Guardians of the Galaxy, dude. Get some more range. Stop stealing from other people and stop trying to regurgitate your own crap. You know, have some creativity. Have some better writing. You know, your directing is also kind of lacking. Why did you make Guy Gardner's head look like a penis? I know it's comic accurate, but you could have gone with the shaved side and the flat top instead of the penis head bowl cut. So annoying. It's a worse haircut than especially on Nathan Fillion. It just looked bad. There are other haircuts. You could have done that suit with a different hairstyle. Hawkgirl was crap. Her costume was crap. I didn't hate Hawkgirl herself, because again, like with the Black Adam film, which was, I guess, part of the Snyderverse, it's just The Rock being in a costume, being The Rock. I liked the Hawk guy, Hawkman in it. You know, even though people are like, oh, they race swap. It's like, he's a goddamn character that reincarnates. He could reincarnate as a Chinaman. You don't know. It all depends on where and when he reincarnates. Because whenever him and Hawkgirl come together, one of them is going to die. So, they reincarnate. They just cycle the two of them, you know, in reincarnations. But Dr. Fate was brilliant in that movie. I love Dr. Fate. You can't really make a Dr. Fate movie. It wouldn't work. It just, he's not main character material. He's definitely side character material. I don't even remember the rest of the characters in that film. As far as the Superman goes, like I said, Mr. Terrific was the best looking, and the way the character was done was the best. The casting was very good too. And then again, Hawkgirl costume design. Didn't necessarily hate the actress, or it's freaking Hawkgirl. It's a girl with wings and a mace. What are you gonna do with that? Not much. Guy Gardner again. Suit was good. Haircut sucked. Nathan Fillion, awesome. The Lantern show coming out. I am gonna on Max. I'm gonna watch that because one of my favorite DC characters is Green Lantern. I just don't. I've seen the teaser, and then I've seen the trailer, and I don't know. I'm just kind of on the fence whether it looks good or bad. I'm just gonna have to wait and watch it. I just saw the Batman Nightfall, the new DC animated film. DC animated, when they started out, they were awesome. They did really good movies. You know, there were good ones and there were okay ones, and then as they went on, there were more bad ones than okay ones and good ones. But Nightfall looked good. Fingers crossed it is good, because it's a great story. With Azrael and everyone. Be interesting. I'm still working on my Jurassic Park build in Jurassic World 3, and I haven't had any comments saying, get this software for making videos on your computer, for transferring, making a video of a video game, I need to do some research. But the thing is, building the damn park takes hours. I've got 4 hours into it, just looking at a map from the movie, because I am doing the movie park. I'm doing the Jurassic Park from the movie, but I'm expanding on it into what other things Hammond would put in it. Like, we only saw a small portion of it, but they have put out a map of what, where stuff was. But there's a lot of empty space in that map, and I'm like, what would Hammond put here and here? Would there be a lagoon? Would there be, because with the game, there's other rides and attractions. There's a balloon tour. I'm gonna put that in for the whole park. It's gonna wind through the park and then end up back at the tour station. I think I could put multiple balloon rides in the park, like interconnect them, so that way the passengers can get off at one section of the park and explore. The tour, I got to figure out how I'm going to do the tour. There, in the sandbox settings, I can make it so the animals aren't aggressive at all. But where's the fun in that? I want the carnos to be aggressive. So I am putting the aggressiveness on the carnivores, not necessarily on the herbivores. They're just not going to care. But the carnos will care. They'll want to eat the tourists. So I am putting that on. Because you can manipulate the settings. Because it's just sandbox mode. With this game, they add new dinosaurs on. I'm trying to stick to the core dinosaurs. First doing the core dinosaurs. Raptors, brachiosaurs, parasaur stuff. The ones with the horns out the back of their head. The triceratopses. T-Rex, Dilophosaurs, but then I'm going to expand into some other dinosaur habitats on the island for the Jurassic Park. And then I'm going to do another island that is going to just be, because you can generate islands or you can build islands. I'm going to generate an island just randomly, and that's going to be, I'm going to make a nightmare park. It's just going to be the crazy monster island, and that's going to have the Downsaurus Rex from Jurassic World Rebirth, because the Rebirth DLC brought in those creatures. So they call it Distortus Rex, but I call it Downsaurus Rex because it's so stupid looking. Why would they make that? It didn't make any. Dominoraptor, Dominus Rex, those made sense, and those will be in the monster park too. But they did the Mutodons. Those are cool. Those are the flying ones towards the end of the film that had like raptor claws, but wings. And it's like, yeah, great, raptor with wings. That's smart. That was not a good movie, Jurassic World Rebirth. It was like, just showed that people are dumb. Yeah, as Ian Malcolm said, we didn't stop to think if we should, we just thought could we, not should we. I agree with him. They shouldn't, because they did, and it was bad. But the Spinos that they use in that movie, I like the way they look compared to the other Spinos. They were more muscular in the next region, tougher looking creatures. So when I do Monster Park, it'll be Rebirth with be a lot of the monsters. There'll be a lot of carnivores, mostly it's gonna be like Carno Park, but not strict like. It's gonna be Carno Park, but also it's gonna have those freakier ones, the hybrids in it, and the lab created ones that made no sense. What else? That's all I got for this video, because we're about to go to another video right after this. Poster tubes. pulling out the poster tubes. Mystery, what's in them? Because it's been 20 years since I've worked at the movie theater that no longer exists. What is there now? Starbucks. I think they tore it down. They put in a Starbucks and a bunch of other little stores in that plaza because they leveled it, they paved it. The theater that I worked at no longer exists. The other theater still exists as a shell of itself, attached to our dead and dying, our dead mall. Or I wouldn't say dying. It's dead. The food court's dying, if not dead. I barely go in there because there's barely anything to see. Half the escalators don't work. I don't think there's an elevator that works except for in the Pennies, which is the only anchor store we have now. When Sears left, that closed. Their automotive services center, which was a separate building in front of the mall, turned into a dispensary. The backside of the mall, which is where the movie theater was, there's nothing back there now. Because that was the other side of Sears. Then there was, employee area that they could park and go in to the mall and a back entrance. Then you had the theater, then you had another back mall entrance that most employees park back there and use. And then further down was Macy's. They've been gone for a while too. The mall is dead. It is just so dead. I think that one part of the mall there's like a community college, they've got some classrooms there. Just crazy how malls are dying. People, online shopping has killed a lot of that. But where are we going to go when the zombie apocalypse happens? When the dawn of the dead comes, where are we going to go? How many malls are left in the world for us to go, in the United States for us to go to? Oh wait, none of them gun stores anyway, so you're screwed. Sporting goods stores only go so far when those bats start breaking and bending, and golf clubs don't do shit to a zombie, I'll tell you that. Tennis rackets don't do anything either. You're just going to bounce them off their head. You need baseball bats will work. Hockey sticks, that could work until they break. They're wood. And then you could turn them into spears, I guess. But they'll break eventually too. More times they have to puncture a skull, they're gonna break. But yeah, so next video coming up. Posters. We'll see what's in them. I have no idea. It's gonna be a surprise for me and you. So yeah, we're gonna do 2 tubes today because again, there's more than one poster per tube, and I don't know what's in any of them. And I have 18 tubes, so 2 tubes per video. That's 9 weeks of content for us for a video. We have one more statue after this one. It's Cable from the X-Men comics and animated series. Another Iron Studio statue. That will be, I'm thinking Friday. Like I said, I have Friday off work. Take this guy to get his nails trimmed, and he's got to get a vaccine same day. And then he and I have a couple quick errands to run before the 4th of July holiday. Mainly, I think I need to get him some CBD or something. Calming support stuff. Something, because he's going to go home. I try to, on the 4th of July, there's 2 films that I watch. Independence Day and The Patriot. I'm fucking patriotic. One is The Forming of Our Nation. The other is aliens blowing up the White House. I like them. That's kind of a tradition to me. But I crank up my soundbar on my TV because when people start popping off fireworks around here, I'll watch Patriot during the day, and then at night I'll watch Independence Day. I like it with the lights off and everything. It's more theatrical in here, especially with my setup the way I have it. Plus, the explosions in Independence Day and the noises and that, I try to use them to mask the fireworks. 250 years of of America, my redneck neighbors are going to go nuts. And I live in the suburbs. I don't live out in the country. I live in a suburb. So, I have neighbors right behind my house, 120, 150 feet away. Yeah, somewhere like that. And they have a pool deck, and the past couple of years they're launching fireworks on their pool deck, and it drives him nuts. But I'm not going to tell the guy to stop, you know. It's not like he does it every weekend, and it's not like he's doing antagonistically towards the dog. He's just a dog. He gets upset by it. He tries to crawl inside me like I'm a tauntaun, just like when it's thunder or lightning. I can't blame God. I can't call God up and be like, hey, can you stop the thunder? My dog's getting upset. I'm not going to bother him by saying, hey, you're upsetting my dog. Stop with the fireworks. They don't do it after a certain time at night. Because they know, I would hope they know, I leave for work early in the morning. I go to bed early, you know. They can pretty much see when my lights go off. I'm trying to go to bed. Stop popping off the bottle rockets and whatever else you have up there. You know, usually around 10 o'clock they stop, which is fine. I go to bed around 9:30, 10. And I can sleep through most anything. So, him, on the other hand, he's usually fine with me. Like thunderstorms and that, he doesn't really wake up. He kind of just cuddles up more. Like he falls asleep curled up next to me, but if something is bothering him at night, he kind of ends up with his head on my shoulder or on my arm, really like pressed against me, which doesn't bother me one bit. I might stir a little bit to reposition to be more comfortable, or put my arm around him so he knows he's okay and safe. But he doesn't tend to bother me. My dad will wake up and it'll drive him nuts. Like he wakes up happy up because he sits straight up in the bed looking around, maybe barking, grumbling, go into my bathroom and pull all my towels out from the floor. So, but yeah, okay. Poster tube time. We'll see you here in a few minutes.